Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Now, this lady says that she is a pick me. That's what she says on her page, okay? So, she came for the women who are in support of the 4B movement. Take a look.
The funniest thing about the 4B movement is it always comes from women that look more masculine than the men that they're talking about. And you know the exact women I'm talking about that have like the septum piercings, the different color hair, that literally are so far in their masculine role that the men weren't even looking in their direction in the first place. But the other funny part about it is it's another perfect example of how so many women are desperate to constantly compete with men. And it's just another way that these women are trying to one up men. But the irony is that men have already checked out of marriage. They don't want kids. They find women insufferable because women have literally made it impossible to make them happy. So men are over it. There's passport bros for a reason. But yet here come the women with their 4B movement trying to make an impact of something that the men are already doing, which is something historically women have done with jobs, with everything around them, trying to be mechanics, trying to do all the manly jobs or make more money and be boss ass babes. Everything is in competition with men. The same men that they claim not to give a shit about or that they don't need or yada, 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 that men are trash. But if there's so much trash, then why are you constantly competing with them or trying to one up them or be better than them? And the other funny thing about it is that these women claim that they don't want male attention or male validation and they're so over men, but they create all of this drama and all of this chaos circulating around men, knowing damn well they're going to get attention from men. So make that make sense. It's honestly the hypocrisy for me. And these are the same women in comments like myself saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. But y'all have perpetuated drama so much to get male attention because negative attention is still attention. And if women aren't seeking attention from men outside of creating all of this drama, then why are they still on OnlyFans? Why are there still so many single mothers? Well, guess what? Because there's always going to be women that are going to put themselves out there and put themselves in jeopardizing situations because they want to perpetually live in victimhood. And what's the alternative? That you become a lesbian where the divorce rates are higher and the domestic violence rates are higher in lesbian couples? So make that make sense. And the fucked up part about it is it's just another example of how women will set the standard of what they want, and when the men follow through even further or use women for something or another, they can turn around and flip it and be in their victimhood and be like, oh my God, all men are trash. And it just perpetuates the idea that all men are the same and all men are gross and disgusting, even though the men are following the same standard that the women set in the first place. Okay, bye.
Well, TikTok was not going to have it, okay? Because you can't come here and shit on us like that. So TikTok came for her. Like, what do you mean by they look masculine, sis? So people are like, have you looked in the mirror? Because it's like you're talking to yourself. You talk about competing with men. You're also competing with the men who keep telling us to settle. And to be honest, they do a better job than you. Okay, so stop competing with them. I don't know what you're trying to do here. This is what the men do on TikTok every single day. They are always on TikTok telling women what to do and what not to do. Why are you also doing that? Or you want to be another Miss Belly Things? Are you competing with the men or are you competing with Miss Belly Things? Who are you competing with? Because you also want attention. But anyway, a lot of people had a lot to say about what she said about the 4B movement and the women who support the movement and so on and so forth. So let's go and hear from the other women responding to her video. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what we do here. So I'm going to come back and talk about it a little bit more. But before we do that, you know what to do. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the video.
The funniest thing about the 4B movement is it always comes from women that look more masculine than the men that they're talking about. And you know the exact women I'm talking about that have like the septum piercings, the different color hair.
And the funniest thing about watching a sad, bitter pick-me talk about a movement that she has no idea what it's actually about, on top of the fact that you too have different colored hair. I see your roots, sis. Now, I'm not part of the 4B movement myself because I have an amazing man that I chose. However, if I ended up being single or if I was single, there's a high probability I would be part of the 4B movement, 100%. But the insignificant teeny brain is not allowing you to understand the reason why the 4B movement was created. The 4B movement was created in response to wanting to distance themselves from toxic and violent men.
That literally are so far in their masculine role that the men weren't even looking in their direction in the first place.
Are you joking? These men flock to hot, strong, independent women. They flock to them because their whole goal is to get them and then break them down and turn them into a pick-me. They don't want someone like this to begin with. They never do. I mean, what kind of adult content do you think these men are looking at? They're obviously not looking at plain Janes.
And it's just another way that these women are trying to one-up men, but
women wanting to remove themselves from toxic, abusive, and violent men is not their way to one-up them. It's their way to save themselves and protect themselves. All you need to do is think. I know it might be hard.
Masculine than the men that they're talking.
Yep, septum's still there. Masculine looking as fuck. Oh, but seriously, I think we found the pick-me of the week. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Pearl, but like, this girl is, I would say, on the same level, probably, maybe we're like, this is the pinned video on her profile. So let's just break this video apart and talk about how wrong she is or how confused she is. So she talks about how it's the more masculine girls or women who are pushing this 4B movement. And in case you don't know what the 4B movement, it started in South Korea, I think. And it's essentially women have decided to no longer have any more babies with South Korean men. So we've adopted it in the US. So women are just, they don't want to reproduce with men. We're done with it. And apparently the 4B movement is just women trying to compete with men or one-up men. And truly, that baffles me because any woman that I know who supports the 4B movement could care less about what men are doing, and they're not necessarily trying to one-up them or compete with them, and neither am I. Honestly, the only person I'm trying to compete with or one-up is the devil. And then she says, men already don't want to get married to you. You guys are insufferable because you make it so hard to be happy. If we're the ones making men unhappy and they don't want to have babies with us, why are they the ones being the big babies complaining that we don't want to have babies with them? Make it make sense, or whatever you say.
And that look more masculine than the men.
My love, you must not own a mirror anywhere in your house. Cause my dear, you're talking about the women that do this movement look masculine? Dear sir, I thought you were a man actually. And that's, no tea, all the shade, bitch. The fuck? You said a lot of a nothing. Just to say something. You sound like your ideas only come from a man. It's like a man, you're like a puppet, and the man is just telling you what to say, and you're just eating that shit all up. I've been picked, Patty! I've been picked! If your man loves you so much, tell him to get you some braces for that bottom row, bitch. What the fuck?
And then the men that they're talking about.
First of all, every woman I've personally seen partaking in or talking about the 4B movement, bad bitches. 10s all across the board. No bitch left behind. They're all hot. Second of all, it's funny because this particular brand or flavor of woman always loves to talk down on the girls that aren't perceived as like traditionally feminine or have tattoos or piercings, blah, blah, blah. But I guarantee you, if we go through your boyfriend's or husband's porn search history, goth girl, alt girl, e-girl, tattooed.
Always comes from women that look more masculine than the men.
And you say this with your whole face in the camera, looking like you just woke up after a night of being ran through by 3 or 4 different guys that you just met at a bar. And we also see the black roots under that bleach blonde hair of yours. And you only have one eyelash on. So before you decide to talk about women, you might want to look in the mirror, get yourself together, honey. You look toe up, and you need to stop it. Hey, Miori, how are you? Hey, girl. Yeah, you need to stop it. You look a hot mess. Bye.
More masculine than the men.
So, before I go on and talk about the very stupid parts of that fucking video, I figured I might explain what the 4B movement happens to be. So, the 4B, or the 4 Nose movement, is a feminist movement which is purported to have originated in South Korea in 2019. Its proponents are to renounce dating men, marriage, sex, and having children. I.e. the 4 Nose. No sex with men, no child rearing, no dating men, and no marriage. So the purpose of the 4B movement is, as it says, is meant to serve as a direct opposition to South Korea's patriarchal state and combat its pro-natalist policies, which views women's bodies and reproductive abilities as tools for the state's future. So now that you know what the 4B movement is, I'm trying to explain why I actually do see a lot of purpose and merit within the 4B movement. Having this social movement of women actually taking back their own sense of autonomy, especially during a time when the Supreme Court last year overturned Roe v. Wade, and there's a extreme fucking tide of manosphere people trying to take advantage of a woman's sense of bodily autonomy and their sense of personhood. You can definitely see why many Western women do adopt the 4B movement. And many points I will address in this fucking video. She said that certain things like, oh, most women who get into the 4B movement, they're not the most attractive, they have like septum piercings and colored hair. And I'm just like, so? I see a lot of women with like septum piercings and colored hair that are very attractive. But aside from that, just because a bunch of women who don't look conventionally attractive are part of a movement that actually goes against like patriarchal roles is somehow a bad thing to you because they're unattractive. Like, do you know how fucking stupid that sounds? Not only that, but also when you try to bring up the whole like, oh, the MGTOW men, they're going their own way and shit like that, when you bring that up, I think you kind of miss the difference between women who do that sort of thing, like the 4B movement, and the men who do it for deep-rooted misogynistic reasons. Essentially, you're continuing on this whole anti-feminist sort of like bullshit that I've been seeing since like 2014. I mean, come on. I'm a veteran of the fucking anti-SJW fucking movement. And since I decided to grow away from it and actually have a lot more nuanced understanding of like social and political matters, I think your sort of like viewpoint, what you happen to add on to women, especially Western women, adopting the 4B movement and just saying, oh, but they're bad, it's a bad thing, blah, and then trying to amplify and try to add on to the social toxicity of gender roles. I swear, it's like you just want to say a whole bunch of bullshit and then just make it sound smart. Really, that's just, why?
So men have checked out. They are going to other countries for other women, and because women are not making the men happy, and now they've brought 4B movement, and they are trying to compete with men, and oh my God! Please find something else to do. This is not your forte. Leave the men to do it. They are good at this. You are not good at it. You are contradicting yourself throughout. Masculine, you are wearing hoodie. Colored hair, your hair is bleached. What are you doing? At least Miss Pelly thinks she wears dresses. Okay, so if you are going to come, please come correct, come jeje, so that we can shut up. But when you come like this and you are all contradicting and you are trying to be a pick-me and you are pandering to men and all the men in your comment section are screaming, get your passport, you look ridiculous. Don't do it. Don't do it. Leave it to them. They do a better job, okay? Because you're also here, you want money. That's why you are doing what you are doing. You want money on TikTok. And the men are supporting you. But they won't pick you. You are the pick me that they won't pick. So if we look masculine and we are ugly and so on, it's the same thing. You maybe even look worse than some of us. Yeah, it is what it is. Besides, we are trying to survive. And you two, what are you doing? You should be married in your husband's house. Put that phone down. Make some food. Maybe make trad wife videos, like the others. Just go and join them. Go and make videos of cooking and cleaning and all that. What are you doing here? Competing with men. The moment she said hypocrisy, I started laughing. I was like, Are you even hearing yourself and what you are saying? Creating videos, pandering to men so you can make money. You're getting the views. You're getting the attention. You're also seeking male validation. Okay, stop what you're saying. You are walking contradiction. But anyway, what do I know? She knows a lot. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again with another video. Take care of yourself. Bye.